Good morning, students. As I have already waited yesterday, but I didn't get at least one of the response. So I'm going to explain the topic or solve the problem. So today we are going to complete the unpaired t-test problem solving, as well as going to see how does the calculation of the paired t-test works, or what is the working procedure for the paired t-test, and by means of solving one examples we are going to solve it also. So coming up to the yesterday problem, as we already know that there were two observations of unpaired t-test. That is, first observation is of 13 girls which are given, or 13 children which were given the diet plus vitamin A and D, and the second observation is consisting of 12 children and they were given only the usual diet. They were not given the vitamin A as well as the D. So you have to say, or from this experiment, can you say that the vitamin A and D were responsible for these differences? So in order to calculate, till here we have reached yesterday, that is, we have find out what is the summation of the group A. So we have written the group A as well as the group B. The summation of group B is 30 and summation of the group A is 52. And why we need the summation? Because we have to find out the mean. So the mean is 4. So in order to find out the deviation, we have to subtract the variables from the mean. So 5 minus 4, 4 is the mean, that's why I'll get 1. So we have to make it square. Make it square. So here we have to make it square. So here we'll get the deviation. So summation of all the deviation of the squares, we'll get it as 32. And similarly we have to take it for the y. So this is another sample. It is consisting of you can say that 12 children or 12 observations where summation is 30, and we'll get the mean. The mean is 2.5. So the mean is 2.5, and we have to find out the deviation by subtracting from the variables. So here 3 is the variable, minus 2.5 is the mean, so we'll get it as minus 0.5. So by adding all these we have to do the squaring, and in this way we can get the deviation of the second variables, that is 11. Okay. So in order to calculate the unpaired t-test, first we have to find out the standard deviation of AB. So first we have to find out the standard deviation. Later on we have to find out the standard error, and later on we have to put inside the formula of the unpaired t-test. We know the formula is T is equals to absolute of x1 bar, mean of x1 bar minus mean of the second variable x2 divided by the standard error. So this is the formula. So in order to calculate the whole equation, we have to first find out the standard deviation, later on standard error, and later on the t value. So first we are going to find out the standard deviations. So standard deviation can be written as the whole square root of summation of the x minus x bar, the whole square. You can say that this is nothing but the summation of dx whole square. Okay. So this is nothing but the dx whole square, and this is nothing but the deviation of the y square. So we have to put inside the formula. So that is summation of x minus x bar, the whole square. This is nothing but the deviation of x, and this is the deviation of the y after making it a square. So we'll get this one. That is whole square root of deviation of one square. We know that what is the deviation of first one. So deviation of first one is nothing but the 32. So this is the first one deviation. This is d square, d1 square. So what is d1 square? d1 square is nothing but the 32 plus what is d2 square? Here we have seen what is the d2 square? 11. So we have to write it down as 11. So whole square root of 32 plus 11 divided by 13. This is the first number of observation. This is the second number of observation. This is minus 2. So at the base we are having n1 plus n2 minus 2. So we'll get it as 23. So we have to calculate this. That is 32 plus 11 will gives you the 43 divided by 23. So we have to find out the square root of 43 divided by 23. So what is this? This is nothing but the SD. As I said, we have to find out the standard error. So standard error is nothing but the SD square root of 1 by n1 plus 1 by n2. So we have already calculated the SD, and SD is nothing but the square root of 43 divided by 23. So this into square root of 1 by what is n1? 13. And what is n2? That is 1 by 12. So this we have to calculate it. After calculation, we will get it as square root of 43 divided by 23 into whole square root of 12 plus 13 divided by 156. This is the LCM. Later on calculation, we will get it as the value as square root of 43 divided by 23 into this will get it as 25 divided by 156. So the whole value will be equals to square root of 0.160. That will be equals to 1.37. This into square root of 1.37. The value will be equals to 0.55. So this is nothing but the standard error. So first we got the standard deviation. After calculating the standard deviation, we have input this data standard deviation inside the standard error. So we get the standard error also. Now we have to find out the t value. So the t value can be calculated. T is equal to x bar minus y bar divided by the standard error. So what is x bar? That is 4, mean of the first variable, minus mean of the second variable, that is 2.5, divided by what is the standard error? Z0.55. So we will get the value is almost 1.5 divided by 0.55. That equals to 2.72. So what is the t value? The t value is equal to 2.72. So 2.72 is nothing but the calculated value. And now we have to compare with the tabulated value. So what is the tabulated value or table value? The table value at 0.05 degrees or 0.05, we can say it is almost 2.07. So from the table we can find out that from और 5% significance level पर उसकी value कितनी है 2.07 and our value that is equals to 2.72. So we can say that our that is calculated value is greater than the tabulated value. So what tabulated value is nothing but the 2.72 is greater than the 2.07. So we can say that. So what is the decision? Decision is that the calculated value, that is t, is greater than that of the tabulated value. So the null hypothesis is rejected. So the null hypothesis is rejected and the alternative hypothesis हमने जो लिया था alternative hypothesis is accepted. So what was the alternative hypothesis? The alternative hypothesis was, so we can say that the vitamins are not gain weight differences. Consumption of vitamin A and D is not responsible for the gain of the weight. So once the null hypothesis is rejected, then we have to go for the alternative hypothesis. And alternative hypothesis is vitamins are not responsible for the gain weight differences. So with this way we have to solve the examples. So after solving examples you will come to know how does the procedure work. So in order to calculate, first we have to find out first we have to find out the standard deviation, and after that we have to find out the standard error, and after finding out the standard error we have to put in formula and find out the t value. So in this way we have to calculate the unpaired t-test. Now coming up to the next one, that is said to be the paired t-test. This is the next examples of two. You know that there are two type of student t-tests, that is paired as well as unpaired. So here also little bit by having a little bit differences we are going to study the pair t-test. So where it is applied? So it is applied to the paired data. So always remember that in case of unpaired t-test the data were unpaired, but here we can find out the data will be paired. Of independent observation from one sample only when each individual gives a pair observations. Next, where to apply to study or why to study the concept, that is pair t-test. So after calculating or understanding the concept of pair t-test, where it is to be applied, so it can be applied to study the role of factors or causes when the observations are made before and after its play. So by this experiment one can say that, or by means of this type of comparing the data one can say that कि after taking a particular amount of dose there is effect or not. So here you can say that the observations are made before and after its play. Now after taking a particular dose, is there any changes in the data are there or not? और it is also used to compare the effect of two drugs. दो ड्रग का effect देखने के लिए इसको यूज किया जाता है, पेयर टेस्ट को यूज किया जाता है, given to the same person. So consider same component but two different drugs are given to the same person. So in order to find out the effects of the drug, two different drug on the same person can be studied by means of the pair t-test. Next is to compare the result of two different laboratory techniques. Next, to compare observation made at two different sites in the same body. So pair t-test applications can be seen after and before the play. So these are the application of the pair t-test. Now coming up to the working procedure. So the working procedure is consisting of the first step, that is said to be find the difference in each set of difference. So we have to find out the difference CE, difference, find the difference in each set of paired observation before and after. So consider if this variable x1 variable is the before variable and x2 variable is the after variable, then we have to find out the difference between the before and the after variable. So the first step is we have to find out the difference in each set of paired observation before and after the play. Next is that we have to calculate the mean of differences. That is, we have to find out the deviations. Okay? Next is that we have to work out the standard deviation of differences and then the standard error of mean from the same. Or you can say that we have to apply the formula, that is standard error divided by square root of n. So we have to work out the standard deviations of differences and standard error of the mean from the same. Or it can be represented by the formula standard error by square root of n. Next we have to calculate the t value. We have to calculate the t value by substituting the above value in the formula. So t can be represented as t is equal to d mean of d minus 0 divided by standard deviation by square root of n. So that will be equals to d mean of d divided by standard deviation by square root of n, or it can be written as sd is equals to square root of summation of d square minus summation of d the whole square divided by n whole divided by n plus 1. Now I know that it will becomes very difficult for you to understand, but by solving one example we are going to see how it can be solved so easily. So it's very simple, but by solving examples we are going to perform these calculations. So it is just a working procedure. How does it work? When after actual solving you will come to know that. So it's not so difficult, but it is easy concept. Next, this was regarding the fourth points. Now coming up to the fifth point, that is, so the fifth step is determination of the degree of freedom, and degree of freedom should be n minus 1. Here we know that the sample is same. That's why being one and the same sample, degree of freedom should be n minus 1. And the sixth point and the last point, sixth one, that is compare the calculated value with the tabulated value. So we have to calculate the calculated value, and then we have to compare with the tabulated value, and then we have to reach the conclusion. So if the calculated value is more than that the tabulated value, then we can say that the null hypothesis is accepted, and if the tabulated value is more than the calculated value, then we used to say that the null hypothesis is rejected. So in this way we have to perform the pair t-test. So we'll see it in detail tomorrow how to calculate the pair t-test. So today we have deal with the working procedure of the pair t-test as well as calculation of the unpaired t-test which was left yesterday incomplete. Thank you for watching.